Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls, Part 8. In the last episode, we did the Great Hollow, and we went through Ash Lake. And today, we are going to be fighting the boss of Blighttown, and then we will be leaving Blighttown. So, the first thing we're going to do is get out of the Great Hollow and head back into Blighttown. And now we're just gonna run straight back to the bonfire. And the boss is actually located on the opposite end of Blighttown from where we are right now. If you see, there's kind of like this, there's this hill in the distance that's kind of like sandy-ish. And there's sort of like trees growing out of it, but not like trees. Just like the roots of the trees. But anyway, there's actually another NPC invasion in this area. So, we're going to pop a humanity, and then we're going to become human. But first, we need to forget what to do correctly, and you need to run over here and kill these two guys. And then, after you've killed that guy, you can realize that you forgot to become human and run back and then become human. So, now that we actually became human, we will get invaded by an NPC called Maneater Mildred, which is actually a human form of the butchers that we fought earlier in the depths that wore the sack and used the butcher's knife. And remember how I said they were female? Well, this is basically another thing that supports them being female, and that is Maneater Mildred, who has nothing on except for a sack and uses the butcher's knife, and she's female. Oh, and I guess she has the plank shield, but whatever. She's not too tough. She doesn't have any poise, so it is possible just to sort of stun lock her like I do at the end here. But once you beat her, you will get a bunch of souls, some humanity, and you'll get the butcher's knife, which is an interesting weapon. If I remember correctly, I think it's one of the weapons that each time you hit something with it, you actually gain a tiny bit of HP back. But it's a decent strength weapon. It's not great, but it's okay. I'm also going to kindle this bonfire just because we got one humanity off of Mildred. And so I figure rather than wasting it and, you know, possibly dying later on and just losing that humanity, I might as well just use it now. This bonfire isn't particularly useful to kindle. It's only really useful to kindle for the boss. But, it is useful to kindle for the boss if you're having trouble with the boss. It's not a boss that's too tough, though, so you don't completely need to kindle it. But rather than wasting the humanity anyway, you'll want to have some poison moss. You most likely do at this point. We have quite a few. And you're going to get poisoned by that toxic, the poison in the swamp. There is actually a way to avoid it. It's kind of a pain in the ass to do, though. If you wear Laurentius's set, which has a ton of poison resistance, which we got in the base of Blighttown, so you will definitely have it if you just go and grab it. Also, don't attack those eggheads. They're a pain in the ass. But if you wear his set and go through the area where all the boulder guys are, it is possible to get there without getting poisoned. So anyway, this is Kellogg, Chaos Witch Kellogg. There's an NPC summon sign right outside of her door for Maneater Mildred. She's not very useful, though. This is actually... She's a bit more useful than summoning Solaire for the Gaping Dragon, which is almost completely useless. Her biggest use is she just sort of distracts Quelaag, but I don't need her, so... Whenever you're fighting Quelaag, she'll either attack with her human form with her sword here, which she'll do when you're close to her. If she bows down like that, it means she's going to do her AoE attack, so you just want to get away as fast as possible. Or she'll spew out lava from her spider form. She really likes to attack with her sword for some reason this fight. Usually if you just stand really close to her, her sword will miss. I actually ended up getting hit twice, and I'm not really sure how, because usually if you're that close, you won't get hit. But, whenever she does her fire, you want to strafe around her because she'll do the fire in front. And it also stays behind. So you'll want to be aware. That's one of the hardest parts about this boss fight, is just avoiding the fire as you're just walking around and it's just there. She also has an attack where she just leaps up into the air and then slams into the ground. When she does that, you just want to back off, and then once she hits the ground, you can usually get in a couple attacks. But usually, one of the biggest hazards is her spewing of fire, but she only did it one time this entire fight. She really attacked with her sword a lot, which is kind of rare. I'm used to her just spewing fire everywhere and then running into the fire and dying that way. But anyway, once you beat her, you can ring the second bell. And so, now that we've rang the second bell, you'll see a giant that opens up the gates that we couldn't get into. And that area is actually called Sen's Fortress. And so, now that we've rung both bells, we can actually go that way. But for now, you'll want to either... There's some stairs there, or you can just jump down the hole. And then you'll find Ingi over here is blocking your path, and you have to say yes to his question. And if you accidentally say no, you do have to quit out of the game and then reload it back up before he'll let you answer again. Over here is Quelaag's sister. I forget her name. I don't think it's Quailana. I think that's another one of the sisters. But she can't actually... You can't actually understand what she's saying right now. But she does offer a covenant called the Chaos Covenant. If you're a pyromancer, you definitely want to join it because she gives you a really useful pyromancy spell. And if you upgrade your rank in the covenant enough, you'll get another useful pyromancy spell. You get Great Chaos Fireball, or Chaos Great Fireball, whatever it's called. But it's a really good one. And it does require 2 attunement slots, but it's definitely worth it if you're a pyromancer. Also, if you join the Covenant, Ingi will upgrade your pyromancy flame. And so you can use him instead of Laurentius if you want. And since we're not going to be doing it anyway, since we're not a pyromancer, if you get your pyromancy flame to +10, Quailana, which is the sister I just mentioned, will appear in Blight Town on one of the edges that doesn't have the poison in it, but in the middle of the poison swamp. And she'll actually sell you some more pyromancy material, and she'll upgrade your pyromancy flame all the way. Basically, you can upgrade your pyromancy flame to 15, and if you talk to her, she'll ascend it and let you go to ascended +5. For whatever reason, I don't know why they didn't just let you go up to +20, but apparently I guess they didn't want to make anything higher than plus 15. I don't really know the reasoning, but for whatever reason, the highest you can go is plus 15, and then you have to ascend it in plus 5. So you definitely want to do that if you're a pyromancer. We're not actually going to be meeting her since we won't be upgrading our pyro flame, and so we won't actually be able to meet her. But anyway, if you go back here, you'll find the demon ruins, and there's a boss called Ceaseless Discharge. Whenever you grab the gold hemmed set, he'll immediately attack you, and you'll want to just sort of wait around for his first attack to go off, and then as soon as it goes off, you just want to sprint all the way back to the beginning, and then he'll actually jump over here, and his hand will be here, and then you can hit it until he falls off. And it's actually based on how many times you hit it and not the amount of damage you do. So I switched to my fist because that's the fastest way I can attack. But this is the alternative way to kill him. It's the fast way, and it's the way that you can kill him early on to get an extra 20,000 souls. Which, if you kill him later on, which is kind of like the way that you would normally do it, the 20,000 souls really isn't worth much, but it's worth a lot right now, which is the main reason I like to kill him early. Whenever you fight him later, if you want to fight him the normal way, he just sort of slams his tentacle into the ground. And so you just sort of want to quickly roll and dodge that, and then run back in and hit his tentacle as much as possible. At this point, it would take a really long time to kill him that way, because relative to the damage we're doing, he has a lot of health. Because we aren't doing enough damage to kill him that fast. But once you do kill him, it'll reduce the lava level, and you can explore the rest of Demon Ruins. We don't really want to do that yet, though. The enemies are kind of strong, and we can't actually get too far in the Demon Ruins anyway, because part of it's actually blocked off. So that we can't actually go there until we're much farther in the game. But once you do kill him, you'll get a lot of souls, and so 20,000 from Kellogg, 20,000 from him. You can level up quite a few times. You also get the Gold Hem set, which is actually one of the best sets in the game. It's actually so good, it actually got nerfed by 10%. Its base defense used to be 44, and now it's only 33. And I think it's the only armor set that ever got nerfed, which is how good it was. But basically, its base defense was really good, and it has the highest fire defense in the game. It still has the highest fire defense in the game, and it has a lot of poison resist. But its base defense did get lowered from what it originally was, so that it's not as OP as it used to be, but it is still a pretty good set. We're going to be fighting more of those blow dart guys shortly, and so I equipped the Gold Hem set just because of the poison/toxic resistance you get, so that they won't be such a pain. And then I also put the spider shield back on, that way we can just completely block their attacks. And I'm also going to put some blooming purple moss clump on my quick bar, so that if I do get toxic, I can just heal it away. This is one of the areas in the game where you can get toxic, so you don't really need to worry about being stingy and being like, oh well, maybe I'll want to save it for a later point. There's really no other point in the game where you can get toxic. There's only one other spot I can think of in the top of my head, and it's not nearly as bad as getting toxic here, so there's no need to worry about them. Anyway, there's a lift that takes you up. Also, the ascent from Blighttown isn't going to be nearly as bad as the descent. It's a much straighter path and much easier. And then up here, sometimes the camera's a little bit has a little bit of downs every now and then, and so it took priority to lock onto the mosquito, which was on the other side of a wall, rather than locking onto the enemy right in front of me. Usually it's fine, but sometimes that does happen. But if you walk around over here, there'll be a couple of these fire-breathing, whatever they are. And all the way back here is the sealers set. We actually haven't met any sealers yet. Most of them are actually dead. Most of them are just in the lore of the game. But there is one that's still alive. But not for long. Spoiler alert. But, you also get their catalyst, which isn't a very good catalyst. One of the things about Dark Souls is most of the catalysts aren't really worth using. There's only a handful, and then the rest are just kind of useless. This is especially due to the fact that the starting catalyst is actually one of the best catalysts in the game. It's not the best, but it is pretty good. One of the most perplexing areas in the game is this right here. It's this ledge that you have to walk up 2 sets of ladders to get to. And there's literally nothing up here. I have no clue what the point of it is. There isn't even anything on the first ledge that you get to. I really don't know why it was even in the game, because there's absolutely nothing up there. There isn't even an enemy to kill. There's just nothing up there. But I have no clue. So anyway, once you get back, go all the way back around here, and there's a ladder over here right next to the torch. By the way, if you haven't ever noticed it, this game likes to sort of light the correct way to go with torches. So a lot of the time by a ladder, there'll actually be a torch directly by the ladder. That way it just kind of stands out. But anyway, down here, there are a bunch of these poison toxic dart guys, which is why we put on the gold hem set and have our spider shield back. And so you'll want to just walk through here. For some reason my character decided it was a better idea to kick that guy off the ledge rather than just killing him, but what do I have to argue? There's another one. He's actually, you can't actually get to him with melee. You either need to kill him with range, or if you get close enough to the thing, he'll actually start to back off and fall off the ledge. And then you can go down there and kill him afterwards. We do have a bow though, so we can just kill him like that. There's another guy over here. We're just going to kill him really fast. And over here is the Soul of a Proud Knight. If you look down here, there's actually some more of those fire dogs. And I'm just going to drop them so that we can just kill them really fast. And then we can get another Firekeeper soul, which is very useful. Here's that guy that we knocked off the ledge. Over here, there's some more fire dogs. You don't really actually need to come over here. There's actually nothing down here, so you can just ignore those fire dogs if you want to. But now we just want to get back out of here. There's a ladder right over here. There's some more fire dogs. I'm just going to ignore them. I don't really have a reason to fight them. I'm also going to switch back to the Grass Crest shield. We don't really need the spider shield anymore. And then there's another guy up here. I have no clue where he came from. My best guess is there's supposed to be another one, and he's standing right about here, right there where we were just at, is where he's standing. But when we first came in there, he wasn't there. So my best guess is he fell off the ledge somehow, and then he walked all the way back over there and climbed up the ladder, and so we didn't see him until the very end there. If it wasn't him, then I have no clue where that one came from. I'm pretty sure that had to have been what happened, because there should be no other toxic dark guy other than him. So anyway, here you're just going to want to make your way up a series of ladders. There's one enemy, that fire guy, but after him you just want to go up here. There's a key over here. This is another key that is useless with the master key. And this key actually opens one of the most useful doors in the game to open with the master key, and that is we're taking the shortcut out of Blighttown. However, and it involves that key. However, with the master key, you can actually take the shortcut into Blighttown, and it's a lot nicer because you can get in here a lot faster, and you can skip the depths and the upper part of Blighttown completely. It's usually the way I come in here. Usually I kill the Capra Demon and I go down. And I get the large Ember so that I can upgrade a weapon to +10. And then I'll just sort of leave and I'll take this way into Blighttown. Just because it's so much faster. But over here we'll get into the Valley of Drakes, which we haven't actually been into. But I did talk about it before, and there are some drakes you can kill to get dragon scales. But anyway, we can use the shortcut to get into New Londo Ruins. And another area we haven't been to yet, but we could have come here much earlier. Down here is Rickard of Vinheim, another blacksmith. He can be the first blacksmith you meet if you want to, if you choose to come here early. He doesn't actually sell the upgrade material, though, so if you come here early, you can't actually upgrade anything. He also sells some sorceries, and the main thing about him is he'll make your weapons magic if you want to use a magic weapon. So you can use a magic weapon, and then you can either upgrade it to magic +10 or make it enchanted. And the difference is enchanted has better scaling. So if you have a lot of int, enchanted is basically better than just making it raw magic. Over here, there's a lift, and we're going to pull on the lift and bring it down because it starts at the top. Normally, that's sort of the way you would come in here your first time. I'm just sort of changing my armor set around. I didn't really want to wear the gold hem set. It gets overused by a lot of players, so I didn't really want to use it. So I switched back to the shadow set, and for whatever reason, I decided to put the sack on. I forgot what headpiece I had been using, and I had completely forgotten that we were actually using the dragon head for a while. And that head, it actually comes off if you die, is how it works. And there's no other way to take it off, so if you put it on, you have to die before it'll come back off. But the Crestfallen Warrior, he has a little bit more to say now. Not that we've been really talking to him this whole time, but he does have some stuff to say about us ringing the second bell. But anyway, that's all for now, guys. Goodbye.